Good afternoon. There's no we, are in Clinton, Mississippi, out on some real property. He wants to do some land development. So basically this is 30 to 40 acres of just woods off of the Natchez Trace. And he called me and he asked me, he says, hey man, I don't have enough time to go out there myself. Would you be willing to come out and drop some trees for me? So we have some red oak, or you want to leave primarily a lot of the red oaks alone. Got some red oak, got some cedar, got some dead pine. If you're not familiar, about 2 years ago, we had a terrible drought come through. And killed awful lot of the pine trees. But we have a lot of oaks here, beautiful piece of property. He's got a small shed on it. So yeah, we're gonna work with this 362. And we're gonna get chopping. So remember, safety first. If it looks stupid, it's because it is. Realize this looks very stupid. So let's get into it. Yeah, so we got this one right here. We got the one behind it, and then we have this one over here. This is gonna be the burn pile. So the goal is that I'm gonna drop this one on top of the burn pile, so I'll have a whole lot less work to do, so I don't have to move that many logs. All right, I'm gonna pop top and we're gonna have a conversation real quick. So that went just about as good as it could have. Went exactly where I wanted to go. As you can tell by the drop, way less cleanup than I actually would have if it hadn't gone the right way. So let's talk about the notch cut. So really, in my opinion, really good notch cut. Went about 40 to 50% of the way into the wood. That one only took about 3 cuts. So started at the top, went all the way down, reached my point, came across the bottom a good amount. Came across the bottom, went a little bit farther. So I went back to my angle cut, finished that one out. Then I went around to the back. So actually, before all of this, you need to line up your sights. So you're gonna take a chainsaw and you're gonna put it, you're gonna put the bottom chain against the tree, and you're gonna look at your sighting line. After you get that, I made my angle cut, made my cross cut, and then went around back and finished it out. As you can tell, there was a lull there where I kind of stopped. So I'm not looking at the base of the tree. After I finish that bottom cut and I get that chunk removed, I am not looking at the base of that tree where I'm cutting. What I'm doing is I'm looking at the top, because like, as you can see right here, like in the wind, you can see the wind moving the tops of the trees. You don't want to be looking at the base. The base is only going to move after the top moves about 25-30% of an angle this way, or whichever way it's going to go. So started my back cut. And then as I got about 25% of the way in, I noticed that I started to see movement. And then I kind of backed up for a second. I was like, all right, it's not gonna take. Went back in there, cut for about another 3/4 of a second, second and a half. Looked up, saw that it was going that way, got the hell out of the way. You could tell at my egress angle was, so if I'm standing at the base of a tree, my egress cut is going to be not at a 90, but at a 60-degree angle on either side. And even before I walked up to the tree, I knew if it's going to go, I knew which one of the 4 directions I could go 60 degrees away from that tree so it would not fall on me. All right, so that went really well. Let me make sure you guys can see that. So So right now we're going to be going for that cedar right there, doing the exact same thing. Now that pine is out of the way and it fell across, now I feel safe dropping this one. So put on your PPE. I'm moving around now, so I don't need that beanie anymore. Got to pop these in just for some background noise. My hearing sucks as is. Doesn't really matter anymore. I'm going to need hearing aids in 3 years anyway. A little bit of noise canceling. These are JBLs. So a little bit of noise canceling on these. Oh, one more thing. I don't wear chainsaw pants. I don't really see the need for it. If you have good positioning and you know how to angle your legs with a chainsaw, I don't see the absolute necessity to have chainsaw pants. I know a lot of professional loggers use them. That's at least the majority of people that I see use them. But, and I know this hat looks stupid, or this helmet looks stupid, but you'd rather have it or not need it than need it and not have it. So, all right, let's get cutting. All right, so with that one, went a little bit to the left that I didn't really want, but overall, I'm happy with it. Way less cleaned up. Now I gotta move the pieces 4 feet instead of 40 feet, so. All right, so just got off the phone with the client, and because that pile is pretty big. So I just got off the phone with him and asked him, I said, hey man, he was wanting to, like we talked about earlier, he was wanting to burn all this stuff. And I said, kind of looking around, I just dropped that cedar, and I looked at that pine tree right there, if you can see that, right there. And I said, I'd like that to be the next one. Well, I kind of thought to myself, and I said, well, this stuff's getting pretty tall. Let me call him and see what he thinks. And he responded with, there's 5 gallons of diesel fuel in the tarp if you want to get it started. So I think what we're about to do, or what I'm about to do, is I'm going to put on all my PPE, and then I'm going to drop that one, and then we're going to crank her up. We're going to start that fire, get that burning, and kind of burn that down, because after that one kind of hits, it's kind of had a little bit to dry out. It just stopped raining about, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours ago. So we're going to drop that one, get it all kind of cranked up, and then let it burn down, and then we'll come back out here tomorrow. Got my eyes, got my ears. I put my helmet on before my gloves because I hate doing that snap. It's all right. Looks pretty good. All right, put on the gloves. I think it's tight enough. It ain't going anywhere when I decide to run. All right, let's make sure you're set up good. We're going that one right there. It's gonna fall right there. All right, that went really well. I couldn't have asked for any better. When it went exactly where I wanted it to go. All right, let me get out of my clown suit real quick. All right, now let's talk about something that really, really irks me when I watch anybody use a chainsaw and drop a tree, right? You probably couldn't notice from there, but one of the things that really irks me is not taking your safety seriously. Not getting away from the tree once it starts falling. Get as far away on a 60-degree angle as humanly possible. After you determine, okay, it is falling the direction I'd like it to go, that is all you need to know. And then you have that angle pre-planned out, and then you have a backup route, and you book it out of there as fast as possible, especially when you're doing cutting in the woods like this. I think we've all seen the video on Instagram, if you're into this type of content, where guy drops a tree in the middle of the woods, and then this limb, probably about 4 or 5 inches in diameter, launches back at him really quick. That's why you get away from the base of the tree. Number one, people make mistakes and people cut through their hinge wood. I've done it. It's common, and it truly is an accident for some people. Some people don't know you're not supposed to cut your hinge wood. And for those wondering, let me see if there's a good one. All right, this is cypress. All right, what you're sitting on right now, this is hinge wood. So where all these clean marks are, that doesn't matter. This is what we're looking at right here. This is basically what you leave off of the cut whenever your tree starts to fall, and this is what this is the last bit of that the tree has a say on where it's going to go. So, and you want to keep that intact, because cutting through your hinge wood leads to unpredictability when you drop your tree. So we're gonna get this cut up. Client just rolled up in his truck. We're gonna get this fire started. It'll be a good time.